Okay, so we will pick up where we left off with the decreasing interval. So that's the right-hand side, right? Because as you go left to right, the slope is going down. But remember, the interval is the x values. So we're looking at the x values. Well, it starts going down at when x is -1, and it keeps going down forever as it goes to positive infinity. So that would be my interval for decreasing. It starts decreasing at the vertex at -1, and then it keeps decreasing forever as I go to the right. And then my x-intercepts are going to be where it crosses the x-axis right here. There's an x-intercept, and here's an x-intercept. All right, so at -3 and +1. So those are my x-intercepts. And I can write those, if I write it as an ordered pair, then I would write it like this as -3 and 0, and then negative or +1 and 0 for the y coordinate. All right, now these are the same thing, x-intercepts and zeros. But for zeros, you just write what the x value is. So I'll say x is -3 and +1, because I don't have to say that it's the y coordinate is 0 because I'm calling it a 0. And then the y-intercept, if I come up here, where does it cross the y-axis when x is 2? I mean, not x, when y is 2. So the x value of the y-intercept would be 0, and the y value would be 2. So that's the y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis. Now my end behavior, I'm looking at the ends, right? So these are the ends. They both face down, right? They're both facing -infinity. All right. And then you have a left one, right? And that's as x goes to -infinity. And then you have a right one as x is going to +infinity, right? As x is getting bigger. So, and then this is how you read this. As x approaches +infinity, so that would be the right side, y, my f of x, my function, is approaching -infinity. It's going down on the right. And as x approaches -infinity, okay, as I go to the left, my y values, f of x, is approaching -infinity. Both sides are going down. And then for transformations, how did it move from my parent function, which would have been at 0, 0, going up? Well, there's 3 transformations here. It went to the left. Right? It went left 1, and then it went up 4. So left 1, up 4, and then it flipped. It's reflected, right? It's facing down instead of up. All right, so it's a reflection. Reflection across. And it went, all my values went from up here to down here, up here to down here. So it went from, it's going across the x-axis. So if I want to write that equation, you start out with the parent function, right? F of x. And I can see it's at V shape, so I know my parent function was the absolute value of x, right? So if I go into Desmos here and write my parent function, right? So I'll have f of x equals, and then I want the absolute value